National Publicity Secretary, Honorable Debo Ologwawa. Welcome, sir.
I just decided not to ask anybody there, but I won't know about the sign the president. So who's the man? See, case sign about the president. I said, my point here when you should know, some got that do and Dele was like, when you're going to get me a good see, now I'm going to move over. I just really got the other by the car. Where is it? Which one then first? Okay.
National Financial Secretary, Honorable Daniel Woyenkro, we welcome you.
Press. And already seated are members of the PDP National Working Committee, led by the chairman itself, the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party in person of Senator Iyorchia Ayu is here. We also have the national secretary of the party, the national publicity secretary of the party. We also have members of the Presidential Campaign Council who are here to brief journalists. We are in the days of press briefing now. The 2023 general elections, the presidential election, to be precise, is over, and we are in the days of press briefing. This time around, it is the People's Democratic Party. Any moment from now, we're expecting the presidential candidate of the PDP in person of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar to come here. The Yaradua International Conference Center is the venue. You can see right behind me here, there are party members who have come in already, former governors, former senators, and other lawmakers are here at this time, waiting for the press briefing to start. We also have journalists from various media organizations and channels television that has ensured that you get quality broadcast, quality coverage of the election is fully on ground. Our crew is here, and we want to ensure that we bring to you all that you need to know about this press briefing. We don't, of course, yet know what the tone, what the mood will be, but we know certainly that this is in reaction to the outcome of the presidential election. And tonight, so many statements are expected to be made about this election. So just stay tuned as we bring you layers upon layers of the briefing and ensure that you don't miss out out of anything. The program is supposed to start by 6 p.m. but by my time right now, it's just a minute or two to 6 p.m. So we are expecting that in no distant time, that the program would start. Of course, We monitored every process of the campaign, the PDP campaign, all through, beginning from last year up to the election. I was in Adamawa State. So we are not losing on anything, any issue, any points that you need to know. So stay with us. We have, of course, legal members of the party. We have Mr. Boala is already here. He's here, he's smiling right now. I'm sure that the PDP is ready to give to the people. I mean, to unleash its arsenal. When I mean arsenal, I'm talking about its position on this election to Nigerians. So very soon, Nigerians, you will be hearing the PDP speak on the 2023 general election. Well, there are so many crossings. I mean, so many people crossing our camera. Don't worry, the stage is being set. That's why people are coming in. They're trying to find their seats, and we would ensure that we give you maximum benefit for your time. So my name is Emperor Simon, and I'll stay on this from now till the beginning of the press briefing by Mr. Atiku Abubakar.
You are going live from here. Have you found the arise?
Lawyer Jumoke Akinjide will welcome you, ma'am. Princess Bola Logidoro, technical advisor to the women campaigns of our great party. You're welcome. Whether I mention your name or not, you are really welcome. Surely you're welcome. It's been several months of moving up and down. We've dissipated energy. We spent resources waiting, planning for a good election. We didn't know that they were planning to rig. If we had known that it's all about rigging, I'm sure we wouldn't have taken all the flights we took. Would have just probably go their way. But however, we cannot stoop so low like them. This is a party of Democrats, and it's our prayer that this country begin to get its act right. They have done all they need to do, and they are grandstanding that we should find solace in the courts because they are equally hopefully they know what they want to do over there, but only God knows. Only God will help us. It's not over until it is over. We must continue to push. We are pushing for good governance, pushing for quality electoral system, and it's not too much to ask. This brazen rape from the electoral umpire
will not go lying down. Welcome, former Minister, Dr. B.A. Sekibo.
You're watching live pictures of the Atiku Abubakar press conference live from the nation's capital in Abuja. We will get back to the event once the presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, makes his way back to the hall for the press conference. Right about now, it's time for World Sports at 6. Please stay with us. Hello and welcome. You're watching World Sports at 6 on your multiple award-winning station, Channels Television. And yes, we're reaching you live from our sports studios here in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm yours truly, Ayotunde Balogun. I will be telling you what's been making the rounds in the beautiful, fast-paced and entertaining world of sports within the next half an hour. So you do well to stay with us, and we'll get to the stories in just a moment. But first, right to serve you now with the news headlines to find out what's been making the rounds in the course of the day. The Lagos Police Command says it is fully committed to protecting the lives and property of the people of the state and is appealing to all groups to live in peace and harmony. This formed the thrust of the message of the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Idowu Owanwa, at a stakeholders meeting convened by the police in the aftermath of the 2023 presidential elections. All right, let's get to the stories in just a moment right about now. And we're starting off with the Nigeria University Games, NUGA. Well, NUGA has confirmed that 100 athletes will represent the country at this year's World University Games, taking place from July the 27th to August the 8th in Chengdu, China. Nigeria is expected to compete for honors in track and field, swimming, badminton, judo, taekwondo, table tennis, and tennis. NUGA said the rigorous training programs and trials will be conducted to identify potential athletes who will represent Nigeria and win medals. NUGA adds that most of the athletes will be picked based on the performance at the last Nigeria University Games held last year at the University of Lagos. Arsenal FC manager Mikel Arteta has hailed his players' ability to produce moments of magic after the Gunners thrashed Everton 4-0 to move 5 points clear of Manchester City at the top of the English Premier League table. Arsenal endured a frustrating first 40 minutes against Everton, but Bukayo Saka's superb opener set them on their way to a commanding victory. Gabriel Martinelli, the Brazilian, added a second in first half stoppage time, with Martin Odegaard scoring the third in the second half, before the Brazilian, Martinelli, added his second to wrap up the victory. Saka and Martinelli's goals took them both into double figures in the Premier League this season, with Arteta praising their appetite to learn and improve.
I'm really happy. It was the game that we had in hand against an opponent that we knew that it was going to make life really difficult for us, and we experienced that at Goodison. And we started the game with some frustration and not really understanding what we had to do, allowing them to run in certain transitions. But after 20-25 minutes, I think we started to get much better. I think the timing of the two goals was key. We needed a magic moment there, and Alex and Bew produced that, and then I think the team grew. When you look at them every single day and you just feel how much they want it, you know, and how much they really want to produce what we asked them to do, and how much they want to please our people, I have no doubts that we're going to turn things around. in performances, in results. Sometimes there are small details that makes you win or not win, but I am really pleased with where the team is right now. And you have to do that at the end. You have to produce those magic moments, and as you said, take that initiative and have that mentality. I'm going to do it on the pitch. I'm not going to wait for somebody else to do it. And when you have now a few players with that willingness and that capacity to do that, you have a better chance to win more games.
Arsenal indeed flying high in the English Premier League this season. Great start from the Gunners. Everton boss Sean Dyche has paid tribute to Arsenal's work rate and speed of thought following their 4-0 defeat at the Emirates. Well, goals from Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli and captain Martin Odegaard condemned Everton to another embarrassing loss. After a bright start, Everton have now lost 2 in a row.
40 minutes doing very well, I thought, against the top side. And, you know, you have to keep it tight at places like this, and you have to work for the counter, which we did. Finding them killer moments. Obviously, that's the story of the season so far, before and with me. And then once you're 2-0 down at a place like this, it's very difficult. We know that. And then we had to take the second half on. And at the end of the day, you saw why they're top of the league in the second half. You know, so it's not always about us. There was lots of things we could have done better. But at the end of the day, they're a top side, and they showed it in the second half. Some 18 months ago, they managed to get questioned, and the team getting questioned. And they've been on a journey since then. And I think we've all seen that. We've got to restart our own. You know, this is a group that are learning from us, a different kind of voice, different feel. But some of the problems have been there, and we've got to try and change that. And a lot of it is the mentality, particularly away mentality. You know, them stats from last season, this season, they're there for a reason. There's only one group of people who can change it, and that's us. Facts, you know, it's harder to win here than other grounds. But no, we did come here to win, make no mistake. We beat them a couple of weeks ago. So, you know, there's no reason to not come here, at least be brave. And I thought we were brave enough in the first 40 minutes, because like I say, you know, you're going to have to absorb some of the game, which we did. And we worked well on counter, so I got no question marks over that. But to come in 2-0 down, you're super frustrated as a manager when you come in 2-0 down after that first 40 minutes.
Real Madrid FC manager Carlo Ancelotti has insisted that Vinicius Jr. is one of the best players in the world right now, adding that it was not a concern that their performances are so dependent on the Brazilians' form this season. Vinicius Jr. was key in helping Real Madrid win the Spanish La Liga and UEFA Champions League double last season, and will be expected to lead his side to a morale-boosting win over arch-rivals Barcelona in the Copa del Rey semi-final first leg tonight. Trailing leaders Barcelona in the La Liga standings by 7 points, Ancelotti did not think that tonight's result will have any influence in the title race. However, after their 5-2 victory at Liverpool in the first leg of their Champions League last 16 clash, Ancelotti said his team had good momentum to fight for multiple trophies this season. Meanwhile, Barcelona coach Xavi Hernandez has admitted that he is highly motivated ahead of the first leg of the Copa del Rey semi-final clash against bitter rivals Real Madrid. Xavi said that he would love to be playing at the Bernabeu Stadium himself, as winning there was a great feeling. He believed that Real Madrid are the favourites. The Barca will be missing some of their best players, including Robert Lewandowski, Ousmane Dembele and midfielder Pedri. World Sports 6 will be back with more stories lined up in the second half. Don't go away.
Stay connected to the world with Channels TV Podcast and get all the trending stories. Simply log on to channelstv.com, click on podcast, select the program of your choice, and listen. Our podcast is available on Apple, Google, and Spotify. Tap the expertise you trust. Touch the stories that touch you. Anytime, anywhere.
All right, welcome back. You're still watching World Sports at 6. But before we get to the other stories, a quick reminder back on our top story from the headlines, where we told you that the Lagos Police Command said it is fully committed to protecting lives and property of people in the state and is appealing to all groups to live in peace and harmony. Well, this formed the thrust of the message of the Lagos State Commissioner of Police at the stakeholders meeting convened by the police in the aftermath of this year's presidential polls. Our correspondent, Olumide Macaulay, reports.
The arrival of the Commissioner of Police dovetails straight into the commencement of this gathering in Lagos of the police, area commanders, representatives of the religious community, representatives of the Yoruba and Igbo communities, and traders and businessmen in Lagos, as well as the youth.
Hold the sacred and statutory mandates.
The Commissioner of Police calls for cooperation to keep the state safe.
I trust, however, that working together, we shall achieve our vision for a peaceful process and a secure Lagos without violence. For in violence, the citizens will always be the victims. We should be determined to prevent this, as history has proven over and over again that concerns are best resolved through engagement, rationality, and within the dictates of rule of law.
Senior advocate of Nigeria and human rights lawyer Mr. Femi Falana sues for peace.
In Lagos State, there's a lot of tension, and we're going to appeal to our people to cooperate with the police so that people can live together in peace. Nobody should be harassed or intimidated for voting for candidates of their choice.
The question and answer session with the youth residents in Lagos bearing their minds on the issues.
Are we getting assurances that electoral officers that are refusing to comply with what the law states as the transmission of results, are we getting any assurances that they will be arrested for interfering with the process of the law? There's already a large percentage of distrust between the people and the police. We know some of you do the work. We know you try your best. But the truth, if we are being honest with ourselves, is that we know that the perception that Lagosians or Nigerians, as it were, have about the Nigerian police is very bad.
Representatives of Igbo traders and businessmen in markets in Lagos also expressed their concerns.
My own observations in the last election is there are many areas we found as a single policeman controlling about 3 units. A single policeman controlling about 3 units, which is not other possible, with a road safety attached to him. That single act shows that we are not really safe.
I want to ask the police commissioner to please use your good office to protect our people. We have advised them, all the SS in all the local governments, call emergency meeting and tell them not to go on any strike or anything that will be against the law, that they should still stay at home and not foment any problem.
After the event, a photo op. One of the points raised at this meeting was a proposal for a community police town hall meeting put forward by the Commissioner of Police to happen on a constant basis that will be driven by civil society organizations with the buy-in of the religious community, the Market Women and Market Men's Association of Lagos State, as well as all interest groups across the board, to the end that the police and the people will work hand in hand for a safer and secure Lagos, especially before, during and after the March 11 governorship elections. Reporting from Lagos, Olumide Macaulay, Channels Television News.
All right, let's get back to our sports stories. And in the NBA, Los Angeles Lakers head coach Darvin Ham is impressed with the performance of Dennis Schroeder in Lakers' 123-117 points win over the Oklahoma City Thunder. The point guard scored 22 of his 26 points in the second half, despite going down holding his left ankle in the first quarter, but stayed in the game and finished with 6 assists to help the Lakers overcome their injury issues. LeBron James and Anthony Davis were out with right foot injuries, while D'Angelo Russell sprained his right ankle.
Competitor like Dennis Schroeder, the way he, people, if those of us that were basketball fanatics and watch it in season and off season at all various levels, if anyone saw how he led his national team this summer, they would this performance tonight wouldn't surprise them at all. He did a great job of being a leader out there. A guy with probably the most miles out of anybody.
Jason Tatum scored 18 points in the pivotal third quarter and finished with 41 points as the Boston Celtics held on to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 117-113. Tatum added 11 rebounds and 8 assists as Boston earned its first victory in 3 games versus Cleveland this season. With his 20th career 40-point game, he surpassed Giannis Antetokounmpo for 7th place on the NBA's all-time scoring list for players under 25. It helped Tatum outduel fellow All-Star Donovan Mitchell, who scored 44 points.
Really got to the free throw line tonight, and I just got some easy ones early, right? Easy ones early, layup in transition, getting downhill, finishing at the basket, just kind of opens things up. And it wasn't like I was discouraged or worried, because I hadn't shot the ball that great.
Rafa Nadal has withdrawn from the Indian Wells and the Miami Open as he continues to recover from the hip problem he suffered at the Australian Open. Nadal limped to a second-round loss against American Mackenzie McDonald, and scans indicated the injury to his muscle would rule him out for between 6 and 8 weeks. Well, this week marks 6 weeks since he sustained the problem, but the 36-year-old is not yet ready to return to the match court and has decided to skip the 2 hard-court Masters.
National Youth Leader to the high table, Prince Suleiman Kadedi. Welcome the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State and the Chairman of the PCC 2023, His Excellency Mr. Udom Emmanuel. Welcome, sir. We also want to have a female youth here at the high table, Honorable Hassana Dada. Honorable Treasurer, Honorable Yaya Ahmed, we welcome you to this press conference.
I'm the one that wrote the speech now.
Chief Ken and Massimo, welcome. Former Governor of Cross River State and former Minister, Deputy Director General Field Operations of the PCC, His Excellency Senator Lee Elimoke, welcome, sir. We also welcome one of the spokespersons of our candidate and Director of Public Affairs, Senator Dino Melai. Welcome the first selected National Secretary of our great party, former National Chairman and Deputy Director General of Research and Strategy PCC, former Governor of Enugu State, His Excellency Dr. Okwesile Zamodo, CON. Welcome, sir. Dr. Lynn Bassi, please come. Dr. Lynn Bassi, Special Advisor on Gender to our candidate, the President of the people, whether they like it or not. This is a party of Democrats. We recognize the men, the women, the youths. Everyone is recognized. That's the blend we have here at this table now. Deputy National Chairman North, His Excellency Ambassador Umar Ilia Damago, former Governor of Niger State, His Excellency Dr. Babangida Ali, CON. We announce the arrival of the People's President 2023, former Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, GCON, Waziri Adama. Our President. While we're still standing, please, let's observe the national anthem. Thank you very much, PDP. Power to the people. Thank you very much. Please be seated. We are very used to handing over events to the hands of the Almighty. Very quickly, we invite prayers from the Director of Finance in the PCC, former National Youth Leader and former National Financial Secretary. Honorable Abdullah Basira will give us Muslim prayer. And the National Auditor, Sir Daniel Obiokechukwu, will bring the Christian prayer.
Salam Nabi Karim. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم بالعالمين إنك حميد مجيد. وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت ورحمت على إبراهيم بالعالمين إنك حميد مجيد. فقالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. ومكروا ومكر الله والله خير الماكرين. اللهم كهر لي جميع الموجودات ولين لي قلوبهم حتى أكهر جميع سرقات بكهرك آمين. اللهم أنت وهاب لنبيك سليمان على نبينا وعلى آله سلام ملك نيجيريا. سلام ملك نيجيريا سلام ملك نيجيريا لا ينبغي لأحد من بعد إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم أنت كلي ومنك كلي وإليك كلي وعليك كلي وكل كلي. كل من كلك أجعل كل حاجتي كفيفة وتجعل حالي سكيلة أسألك كداها يسيرا بحق ياهو مالك الملكوت اللطف بنا باللطف كان كفي وذكرنا كل إنسان والجن بسر وجودك في كل شيء يا رب العالمين. اللهم إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اللهم إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اللهم إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك فقنا عذاب النار. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا في نيجيريا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Let us pray. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Eternal King of Glory, we thank you for a time like this. Our country is bleeding and in pains because of the brazen manipulation experienced last Saturday from evil forces. But one thing that gives us confidence is that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. You still control the affairs of men. Father, heal our nation. One thing we also know is that even if you kill the truth, bury the truth, at an appropriate time, the truth will resurrect. Because truth is constant, and conscience is an open wound, and it's only the truth that can heal it. We commit our father and the president in waiting, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, into your hands. Father, giving you a wisdom, even as he addresses this press conference. One thing we know and one confidence we have in you is that you are a God of justice. And because you are a God of justice, you will give this nation justice. You will heal our wound and make the truth to prevail. May all praises, adoration, thanksgiving, and honor be ascribed unto your holy name. For in Jesus' mighty name we have prayed.
Amen. PDP, power to the people. His Excellency, the National Chairman of our great party, former Senate President, Senator Dr. Yochai, former Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the People's President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, GCON. For want of time, all other protocols are duly observed. Good evening and welcome to the press conference of the PDP presidential candidate in the just partially concluded election of February 25th. On this note, let me invite Senator Dino Melaye to take the next proceeding.
Thank you very much, Chinwe. I think she deserves a round of applause. Good evening, Nigerians. We are here for this World Press Conference by the candidates of the PDP, the People's President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the true President-elect of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Weeping may tarry till night, but joy cometh in the morning. We want to announce to Nigerians, with the verification done, with the reports from our situation room, from the evidence we have gathered, Atiku Abubakar is the true president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I want to announce that the battle to reclaim this stolen mandate is a battle of no retreat, no surrender. It's a battle of no retreat, no surrender. By the special grace of God, justice will prevail, and the true wishes and aspirations of Nigerians will come to pass. Without wasting much of our time, it is my singular honor and privilege to invite a true Democrat, the most matured of all the presidential candidates of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the most preferred of all the presidential candidates of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, a true believer in the unity and togetherness of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Jam your hands together as I invite the president in waiting by the grace of the Almighty God, Atiku Abubakar. Yes, just, sir, you are a president, start acting like one. Please sit down, sir.
Please be seated. The chairman of our great party, Your Excellency, Governor Fintiri of Adamawa State, Your Excellencies, members of the National Working Committee, distinguished members of the press, I understand they call you gentlemen of the press, even if they are ladies, they don't refer ladies and gentlemen of the press. I don't know why, but I would like to say ladies and gentlemen of the press. Before I deliver my speech, first of all, let me sincerely apologize for the delay in the start of this event. It's not intentional, but simply because I was held up at home by visiting international delegations of observer teams that have come to observe. I am being asked to sit down. My view is that if I sit down, all these things will block my face. So,
Can you give the president a round of applause?
Thank you very much. So, because of that, I ran late to this very, very important event this evening. And I hope, in spite of that, you will forgive me for running late, and hope we will have a very productive evening this evening. So, fellow Nigerians, it is with a heart full of sadness that I address you today. I have, in the last 3 decades, devoted my life to the battle to birth and deepen democracy in our country. It was a battle that started during the military era. It was a struggle that nearly cost me my life and that of my son, Adamu, who is seated here today in Kaduna, where 8 policemen were killed in their attempt to save our lives. I survived the assassination only by the mercies and grace of God. Following that attack, I was forced into exile. But that attack claimed the precious lives of those policemen in the service of our dear country. That was not all. My businesses were nearly crippled, and my signature business was eventually appropriated by the maximum ruler in power at that time. My commitment to enthroning democracy ensured that I joined forces with other compatriots. As a leader of the defunct Social Democratic Party, together with our current chairman, we fought and won the 1993 presidential election, which was acclaimed as the fairest and freest election in our history. There was no internet then. Mark you, no internet. Yet it was the freest and the fairest election. Sadly, Chivenko Abiola, who embodied that hope for the birth of a new Nigeria, paid the ultimate price, including his wife. Our fight to enthrone democracy continued. Indeed, the motivating factor for the birth of the People's Democratic Party was to force the exit of the military from government and their permanent return to the military barracks. Today, we have succeeded in doing that. Following the exit of the military and the advent of democratic rule in 1999, I did not rest on my oars. I deployed the same level of commitment to advance and deepen our democracy. I did this because our democracy was bought at a huge price of human lives. My mentor and true Nigerian hero, who this venue in which we are gathered this evening is named for, was one of those who paid the ultimate price in that battle. Before my eyes, the military murdered him. So also was Chief Alfred Rewane, Chief MQ Abiola, and his dear wife, Chief Mrs. Kudrat Abiola, and many others. It was also for this reason that I sacrificed my political aspiration and fought against the actualization of the third term. Whether during the military or civilian era, I have, no matter how inconvenient, pitched my tent with the people against dictators. During the military regime, it nearly cost me my life again and the near decimation of my businesses. In the civilian administration, it has serious adverse implications on my political life. But I have remained undaunted because I was and still convinced that the only reason why I am in politics is to work in tandem with other compatriots in the advancement of the well-being of our people. The 2023 presidential election presented our nation and its people the greatest opportunity for a reset. We had everything going for us: a legal framework in the 2022 Electoral Act and the BVAS technology. The enthusiasm of Nigerians to turn out and in large numbers was an added bonus. However, the dreams and aspirations of Nigerians who braved all the challenges to go and cast their votes on Saturday, 25th of February 2023, were shattered by the conduct of the Independent National Electoral Commission, which failed woefully to live up to expectations. The weekend election was neither free nor fair. Preliminary assessments indicate that it is the worst conducted election since the return to democratic rule. The manipulation and fraud that attended this election was unprecedented in the history of our nation. I can still not understand why the electoral umpire was in such a hurry to conclude collation and announcement of the results, given the number of complaints and irregularities of bypassing of the BVAS, failure of uploading to the IRV, and unprecedented cancellations and disfranchisement of millions of voters in breach of the Electoral Act and the Commission's own guidelines. It was indeed a rape of democracy. Having consulted with leaders of our party who are seated here with me, and Nigerians from different walks of life, I have come to the conclusion that the processes and outcome of the presidential and National Assembly elections of last Saturday was grossly flawed in every material particular, and as such must be challenged by all of us. This has been attested to by both local and international observers. Just as I was about to enter this conference hall, the chairman and I read an Austrian report, news report, that a Nigerian drug baron has emerged as the president of Africa's most popular city. I want to believe that this was not the legacy that President Muhammadu Buhari has promised. For President Buhari, it is not too late to make amends for the good of our country and the future generations, and indeed to assure his legacy. This battle to right the wrongs of Saturday is not about me at all. It is not about me. It is about you, and it is about the future of those of you who are seated here and listening to me. It is also a continuation of my battles to deepen democracy and for a better life for our people. It is about the future of Nigerian youths. I know that Nigerians, especially the youth, are traumatized by the developments. But I want to urge them to conduct themselves peacefully. Like I have done over the years, I assure you that I will commit the rest of my life in ensuring that true democracy, which affirms the supremacy of your votes and your will take firm footing and guarantee a stable, prosperous, and peaceful Nigeria. This is more so as Nigeria represents the hope of Africa and the black world. It is my hope that the judiciary will redeem itself this time around and rise to the society's expectation as the last hope of our people. In the end, who wins is not as important as the credibility of our elections and electoral processes. I call on all men and women of goodwill to join hands with us in the vanguard to defend our Constitution from the brigandage of anti-democratic forces. Finally, I urge Nigerians to remain vigilant and resolute. You have the constitutionally guaranteed right of freedom to choose your leaders. We will not, and I repeat, we will not sit idly by and watch your rights taken from you. Your voices will be heard. May God bless you, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
A round of applause for our president.
Thank you very much. That was a brilliant, intellectually mobile, administratively sagacious presentation by the true president of the people. He deserves another round of applause. Very, very presidential indeed. His voice was not shaking. His presentation was stable. He deserves another round of applause. Thank you very much. We appreciate the presence of the former Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Architect Namadi Sambo. We also have the performing governor of Akwa Ibom, who is here, Governor Udom Emmanuel. The project manager and ATM governor of Adamawa State, Amadou Fentiri. We have recognized already the irremovable national chairman of our party, Iyocha Ayu, the national secretary, the former president of the Nigerian Senate and the two-time governor of Kwara State, Senator Dr. Bukola Saraki, the former national chairman of our party, Prince Secondus. We have the deputy national chairman, north of our party, Ambassador Damagun. We also appreciate the former governor of
Enugu State and our national chairman, Uwondo, we thank you. Without wasting much of our time, because of time, we are going to give opportunity to just 3 questions quickly, if there are. Paul. So we inviting Enoch, from African Report. Eniola, sorry. Please, straight, you can come here. Your name and your question.
Good evening, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen. I have 2 questions, sir. I want to know, are you stating categorically that you are going to court to go and challenge this? That's one. Secondly, Governor Akeredolu said Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu had set up a reconciliation committee to reach out to you and Peter Obi and others. We were told that some of the governors tried to see you today and then you turned them back. I just wanted to find out if that is true. So those are my 2 questions. Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry, please.
Sorry.
Can you repeat them?
You need to repeat the question.
So 2 questions again. First of all, I wanted to know if you are saying you are going to court, challenge the result. And let me even add this. Are you challenging the entire conduct of the election or just certain states? If it's just certain states, we would like to know the ones that you have problems with. And then thirdly, Governor Akeredolu said today that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu had set up a reconciliation committee to reach out to you and Governor Peter Obi of Labour Party. We were told that some of the governors tried to see you today and you turned them back. Just want to find out if that is true or if it's fake news. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let me respond to the second question, Tinubu's overtures. I'm really not aware. And I was at home throughout today, so I'm not aware if any governor tried to see me. On the issue of court, of course, our lawyers are studying the results, of the election, and we await for their advice. So whatever they advise, then the party will meet, and then we decide the next line of action. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, you. Leon from Tribune. You can speak. You can speak from there. Give him the mic, please.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, sir, the performance of the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, would appear to confirm earlier permutation that he would draw votes from you. Looking at the outcome of the election with the benefit of hindsight, do you regret the fact that you could not work together under a single platform? And secondly, I'm also wondering about your thoughts on the perception that the PDP seems to be in trouble today because of your insistence on contesting election at a time there was the clamor for a southern presidential candidate. What do you have to say, sir? Thank you.
We're taking the very last question. Yes.
Thank you. Your Excellency, sir, my name is Tony Aileme. I write for Business Day newspaper. Over the years, we have known how you had used the judiciary to change the course of so many issues across the country. But right now, Nigerians are wondering, that the current judiciary that we have, there are issues around credibility. I don't know if you also believe that pursuing this cause, you are likely to get justice from the system as it is right now. Or do you have any doubt? Are there issues that you want to consider around the judiciary, sir? Thank you.
Thank you. That's the end of the question series. Now we will call on the presidential candidate to respond accordingly. Thank you.
Well, first and foremost, about the Labour Party, whether at the time Peter decided to leave PDP and join Labour Party, we had not, I believe, begun our primary process. So the question of whether he was going to get a ticket or not, did not arise. Yes, agreed, that is a fact. He took our votes from the southeast and south-south. And that, of course, would not make him a president. Absolutely not. You all know that to be a president in this country, you need votes from everywhere. So as far as I'm concerned, Peter is welcome to dialogue with PDP. We are ready to dialogue with him. So I don't think we will have any problem if he wants to dialogue with PDP and either form an alliance or not. But I also want you to recall that I was the first candidate to say that because of the way Nigeria has been governed in the last 7 to 8 years, there has been deep divisions between North and South, East and West. And I said to Nigerians, if I happen to be elected president, the first thing I will do is to form a government of national unity. What do I mean by that? I mean, I will look at the performance of each political party and bring them into the government so that first and foremost, we reunify this country and bring about peace and stability. It is only when you do that, then you will be able to start developing the country, whether economically or otherwise. You cannot develop a country that is deeply divided, that is in crisis. So I was the first to commit to the formation of government of national unity. And I also have it on record that when I ran in 2019, I picked an Igbo man as a running mate, simply because I felt that after any other zone again, the next zone must be the southeast. In 2011, I also picked another Igbo man. And in 2023, I also picked another Igbo man. And I have always said that I will be a stepping stone to an Igbo presidency. Because there is no zone alone in this country that can produce a president on its own. I have always told my Igbo compatriots, I said, look, you negotiate for power. You don't fight for it. You negotiate for it. So, for anybody to think, that I have anything against Labour, I think Peter was in a rush. Do you know why I say he was in a rush? When the campaign started, and our PDP governors sat down and said they must produce the president amongst them. They must produce a vice president amongst them. They must produce a chief of staff amongst them. Peter got scared and left. I did not get scared. I stood up against the governors. When we formed this PDP, some of them perhaps were in secondary school or university. So why should I be afraid? So I stood up and I fought them. They fought me, yes, and I fought them. And I won the primaries. So if he was there, nothing could have stopped him from becoming, a running mate. Because I had the right to choose whoever I wanted, as my running mate. So the question of whether I will work with Peter or not, whether Peter wounded PDP, yes, to some extent he did. Because all the votes he carried, there are PDP votes in the South and the Southeast. So that's true. But that's politics anyway. But whether, he will achieve his objective, by that or not, that is left to God to decide. So the next is the issue of judiciary. For those of you who don't read, because I know you young people now is only computer, on the phone, everything you need. You don't read textbooks. You must remember that I took my boss, a sitting president, to court 11 times. 11 times from trial court up to Supreme Court. I swear, if there is a Quran here, I swear I never saw any judge from the trial court up to the Supreme Court. And yet I got judgments against a sitting president. Do you think it is possible today to do it? But let us tell ourselves the truth, manner. "11 times from trial court up to Supreme Court. Wallahi, I never saw a single judge. I got judgment at the trial court, I got judgment at the appeal court, and I got judgment at the Supreme Court. That's why I said, how will I do this? That's why I decided to publish a book called Landmark Constitutional Cases, the Atiku Abubakar cases, for those constitutional law students. So, I cannot say whether it is the same judiciary or not until I test them. Yeah. So, I hope I have answered all your questions. Dino has already overruled me. He said one more question. Is that true?
Yes, sir. They're directed for 2 more questions because you're a Democrat and you want to make sure everything is exhausted. So I've been directed to take 2 more questions for you, if any. If he has addressed what you want to ask, there's no need, please. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, this one will be the last one indeed.
A very good evening, Your Excellency. All protocols duly observed. My name is Atinuke Tokuranuke from Silverbird News 24. You spoke about the judiciary, comparing it as before. So what if you seek redress and at the end of the day you're not given fair judgment? What next would you do?
Like I said, that's the last question. Your Excellency, sir.
Well, what can I do if I don't get if I don't get a favorable judgment at the apex court? You know, I appeal to God.
That's a good one. PDP! Power to the people. To this great phenomenon, great Democrat, Nigeria, please a round of applause for the people's president, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. While we're doing this national anthem, please, as we bring this to a close. Good evening.
You've been watching the live event, the Atiku Abubakar press conference from the nation's capital of Abuja. Please stay with us as we now head to our studios in Abuja for the program Politics Today. It's Channels Television.
Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar of the PDP, they've said they won the election and will seek redress in the court. Peter Obi says he won the election and he will show the world. And the national chairman of the APC, Senator Abdullah Hada says Tinubu is the clear choice of Nigerians and is extending an olive branch to opponents. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimalo in Abuja. It's a day filled with loads and loads of reaction, and counter-reactions are following equally, and more reviews of the 2023 presidential elections. The Labour Party and the PDP presidential candidate have held different press conferences today in the nation's capital, Abuja, where they claim they won the election and the promise that they will retrieve the mandate from the APC's Bola Tinubu through legal means. Those reactions get our attention tonight on the program. But first and foremost, let's check out some of your political roundup stories.
The president-elect Bola Tinubu is restating his commitment to build a united Nigeria. Tinubu stated this while paying a thank-you visit to the National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress in Abuja. He was received by the national chairman of the party, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, and the national secretary of the party, Senator Iola Onishore, and other chieftains of the